Okay, it is now 10:16 on Saturday, September the something. Okay, sorry, I don't know. I have to look it up. I think it's the 8th, if I'm not mistaken. But anywho, I just woke up, but I went to bed at like 4, so it's pretty impressive, actually. And I feel really good too. But then again, I had a low-key day yesterday. I just watched TV. As you can see here, they are now checking out the hay box and their potty, whatever you want to call it. I'm really happy because the first day, when I first gave them this bedding, I found like 2 strips of the stuff floating in the water, which is fine. Which is why it's really important to make sure the rinse cycle is really good at rinsing out the soap. So there's no problem even if she drank the water from there. But the thing is, this morning there isn't, so it means that it was just an accident. It's not a likely prone thing to keep reoccurring, because there's always one risk with the bedding strips, is that if it, well, back a long time ago, I should do it on this one just in case, but if it falls in and half of it drapes out, it could end up wetting the bedding until the water's absorbed. But because this is not a legit water bowl, right, it's just a water drip catcher, there isn't that much water, and plus with these bedding strips, when they get wet, they get heavy, so they fall in the bowl. Whereas before, I used to give them in these things to my hamsters, and they were always a disaster. That's why I had to get water bottles. If even half of it got in there, the rest of the bedding all got wet. And one day I actually came home and I found Sniffles completely sitting in a bin that was completely soaked in water. And there was not an inch of dry area. And there was only one tiny water dish. And he was in a half bin though. He wasn't in a full-size bin, which is why I switched to water balls now. So that eliminated that problem. But with these guys, it shouldn't be a problem, just because there's so much bedding. It's not possible to wet the whole bed, their whole area, okay, the bedding. And also today I tried something different. Yesterday I put them in the Habit Trail maze, the pink cage. No, I don't keep them in there, okay, people? I just use it to temporarily house them for a few minutes when I go wash the potties out. All I do is just tilt it on the side and just dump it out from the back. Like I just tilt it and into a bag like this. Like I don't reuse anything. I don't reuse the leftover hay, which I gave them just last night. I don't reuse the potty sheet. I am going through 1 potty sheet a day right now, which isn't very much, okay. I just cut it into 4 and I'm using 2 at a time, so I'm using 1 sheet. So basically these guys, I don't have to spot clean. I just realized that yesterday I spent a few minutes picking up all the poop, but I realized I don't have to, because every last pea spot that I can see I've touched and it's all dry anyway, so I'm not going to spot clean. There is no way that this bedding can stay wet. That is one of the reasons I chose it for my hamsters. Because they pee and walk all over the place, and I had like 4 in a bin a long time ago, right? Now they're only in 2. The maximum I have now is 2 in a bin. 2 boys, or 2 boys, 2 girls, or a boy and a girl. So anyway, yeah, there's no wet spots whatsoever. Everything is dry to begin with. They do pee in certain areas, I've noticed, and it all has to do with eating and dark spots. So yesterday I already cleaned this. They peed here again and pooped here. So I guess they want to pee and poop here. I'm not going to stop it. So long as they're not exactly peeing right in the center. But he did here. But it didn't go through. So the next changing of the bedding, I'm just going to put more bedding in the cage. Then they can pee wherever they want. Because sometimes there can be bald spots when they ran through it. Like they run and they kick it up. So I'm just going to make sure they got a little extra, then it doesn't matter, because the bedding is proving that it's capable of absorbing all urine and drying it in time. I mean, they pee quite often, actually. They pee and poop very often. When I had the bed wet sheets, there was always damp spots. Always. And even then, when I had this in the tiny corner, I don't know if you guys remember when the cage was right here and it was in that corner by the water area. I had the whole chunk of bedding stuck there. That bedding was always drenched, actually. It was actually quite wet. It couldn't dry in time because that was the only place the bedding strips were. But had I had the whole cage full of bedding strips, it would have dried. It's just that it's not capable of holding all that urine at such a frequent usage. But in this case, they do still pee here, just like they did in the when I had the other designed cage. But it's all dry. This is all dry. The poop's dry too, which is good because when the poop's dry, it doesn't cling to the fabric. When it's wet, it does. So basically, it's all good. Today actually too, I also wanted to mention I did not put them in the habit trail. I put them in this thing. But she could easily climb out, so I put a paper bag inside, and it made a tunnel, so then they just kind of hid in there. And I just kept a really, really close eye on them while I washed it, and it seems to work. And nobody peed, so I'm gonna try this method and see if that works, because I don't want to bathe them every single day, you know. So the guy just tried to mount Mocha while she was drinking. Oh, as for the food, that's what I should mention too. I am going to return this bag of food. There's nothing wrong with it, actually. I don't know if you guys watched the video about the hamster food, the VITAKRAFT hamster food, where I found wood chips in it. I've just made a decision to not use this brand at all anymore, including their snacks and stuff. I'm not going to be buying anymore. The food I bought only last week. I'm pretty certain it was last week. Yeah, last week, because I returned the Chloroplast last week, and that's when I did it. I'm just going to make the decision to not buy anything by VITAKRAFT, because they have been using something called a filler. Apparently that's what it's called. It's where the company puts wood chips in or whatever that's not edible, and it's probably cheaper than whatever the food that they're selling you, and they put it in the bag. They slip a little bit in the bag, so then it reaches the weight of the bag that they're selling you for, but you're not getting that much food. So you're getting less food, but you're paying. So in the case of this bag, for example, had this one had wood chips, it would have been a 4-pound bag, but you wouldn't be getting 4 pounds of food. You'd have a 4-pound bag of stuff, but maybe like 25% of a pound. Okay, so like maybe 125 grams, which is quite a lot actually. It's about at least almost a cup of wood chips. They've been doing that with the hamster food a lot. I've always just picked it out, but the recent bag I bought was the last straw. I did 2 measuring cups worth, and I was panning through it looking for the stuff to toss out before I blended it into my container of food. And there was, I took the amount because there was so much. I put it aside in a bag. I took it to a local grocery store and I weighed it on a gram scale, a digital gram scale, and it came over to 100 grams. And that was only panning through 2 cups worth. So if you understand, the 500 grams is 1 pound. Okay, 500 grams is 1 pound. So I'm talking there's 100 grams in 1 2-cup measure. So the kind of measuring cup that you use when you're baking and stuff. That's quite a lot. Okay, that's like this much wood chips out of a measuring cup. It's not fair. And so, you know, that is the most I've ever seen. And so I've just decided not to go with VITAKRAFT anymore. Because you know what? A company, it's supposed to be this, you know, you're supposed to be able to trust them. And frankly, I don't even know what they put in their food. I'm taking a leap of faith and trusting that they know what they're doing and giving my hamsters the best that they're supposed to be eating. And then they start slipping other stuff in there. And hello, my hamster could have eaten that and died. Because I don't even know what that wood chip is made of. Okay, I'm not going to go get it tested. Okay, but if I had to guess, it could hell be pine. You know, I don't know what those things are. And so I've just decided not to use VITAKRAFT at all. And this thing is like $12, $12.99. So I'm definitely going to get my money back. I'm not going to use their brand ever again. I've only had it for like since Monday. So in return for that, I'm probably just going to go get them the Living World extrusion pellets, which, as you can see in that one, there's nothing that shouldn't be there. That one's actually really good. That's the one that, oh, I don't have any here. But that's the one with the little pebbly things. The ones that look kind of like a little Tic Tac, but a little bigger and fatter. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it on Monday though. Alright, that's it.